Welcome to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Best news I've heard for a really long time. A cinematic Lovecraft Universe is in the works. Oh yes. Fucking yes please, ladies and gentlemen. Yes please. Now this comes hot off the heels for Color Out of Space featuring Nick Cage, which released its trailer recently. I'll leave it linked above. Looks great actually. Color grading and shot very well. The acting even looks particularly good, even by Nick Cage as well. It looks like a good film. But apparently we are getting a Lovecraft cinematic universe in the works. Title is slightly misleading, but I think that's their overall aim. It seems like they're kind of trying to launch a trilogy first and then going from there. This is really, really cool and very interesting because it's Spectre Vision, who is owned by Elijah Wood and Daniel Noah. They're partnering with the Color Out of Space's director and writer Richard Stanley, which a lot of people know him as a writer. It's a very good one as well, to create a cinematic universe based on H.P. Lovecraft. Do you know what the next film is, though? Do you know what the next one is? And this is what I love the sound of. It's the Dunwich Horror. It is the Dunwich Horror. That's what they're looking to do next. And I actually really like the sound of it as well, because it's very Dunwich Horror, Lovecraft era, brought into the new era. It blended quite nicely. So let's get into it, right? I really do like the sound of this. This is the best news I've heard in such a long time. Noah and Wood told coming soon that they're currently working on an adaptation of the Dunwich Horror as a way to build out a Lovecraft universe. The duo are hoping there's enough of an appetite for these things and we can keep them going and make at least 3 of them. So like I say, they're looking to build a trilogy and then go outwards. They're thinking big and broad. And why not? Lovecraft is epic for stuff like that. It really is. A very underutilized world and source material. Very underutilized. But often mimicked and adapted very well by other people. But the actual source material itself, never properly adapted. So a shame. Now it says, noting the classic writer is such an important voice in horror. And he is. H.P. Lovecraft has inspired pretty much all of today's modern horror writers. All of the acclaimed modern horror writers. Genuinely, just go and look it up. So, yeah. Very, very good sounding, this. Really, really good sounding. Now it says the next installment of their trilogy is the Dunwich Horror, which is still in very early development. In 2015, Stanley said he'd had a very clear idea of how he'd like to tackle the characters of the Dunwich Horror. This is what I like. He said, "I'd love to see the Whateleys brought on screen one day as a kind of proper backward degenerates. Great God plan crossed with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre family type of way that you would imagine." I love the sound of that. I think that's a good way of doing it. You know, how are you going to bring it into the modern age? That's how you do it, I guess. Often considered one of horror's most important authors, Lovecraft wrote such tales as The Call of Cthulhu, The Dunwich Horror, and The Color Out of Space. The author's racism and xenophobia have become the subject of much discussion in recent years. However, Lovecraft's theme of cosmic insignificance is one Noah and Wood feel would be possible to tell on the big screen. Now, let's talk about his xenophobia and racism. Look, a lot of people often forget that, and I'm not condoning it, right? I'm not condoning it at all. But if we look at the people of Lovecraft's age, of that era, they were all pretty much racist and they were all pretty much xenophobic. Was Lovecraft a little bit more so? Yeah, absolutely. Of course he was. But there's outliers in everything. When everyone was racist at that point in time, it's a very strange mentality to just single out one person as as a martyr for everyone. That's not that smart. I don't condone any racism or xenophobia at all, even now. But I am also able to separate the art from the artist, and Lovecraft is one of those people. Yes, his political leanings, I guess you could say, his social political leanings are often intertwined in his work, and you can clearly see that by some of the names. But it's still very, very good work. So again, you must separate the art from the artist, and I don't think you should cut yourself off from anything simply because someone is thought to be terrible or anything along those lines. And like I say, you know I'm going to cop flack for this, but at the end of the day, everyone was racist at that time. Literally everyone. You know, it's nothing out of the ordinary. Yes, he was a little bit more racist, and yes, it is terrible. It doesn't take a genius to figure that out. Of course it's terrible. But are you going to hate his work for it? No, that's really, really dumb. You should never cut yourself off from influential work simply because of the person behind it. It's a very strange, closed-minded way of thinking. The best thing to do is even analyse the work itself as a means of kind of understanding the person behind it to a degree. Because it's interesting, I think, anyway. So there you go, just kind of giving you my my little spiel there. Now it says, directed by Richard Stanley, Colour Out of Space releases January 24th, 2020. The movie stars Nicolas Cage, Jolie Richardson, Madeline Arthur, Corianka Kilcher, Brendan Meyer, Tommy Chong, and Elliot Knight. I like the sound of this. And I think Elijah Wood, with his Spectre-Vision, is doing good things. I'm all game for this. Let's do it. Let's build out a Lovecraft universe, shall we? Let's do it. I'll be all game for that. You should also, as much as having Richard Stanley on board, you should also have the people behind The Void. I've done a review of that, linked above. You should also have the people who did The Void, people who did From Beyond. I can't remember the name. They've done a few films now, 3 or so. Very, very good. 2, well, 3, because the ones that did Beyond or From Beyond are 2 fantastic duo directors. But yeah, get them all on board for sure, because they know what they're doing with the Lovecraft themes. So yeah, I'm all game for this. What do you guys think though? What do you guys think of a Lovecraft universe? So a few things some people might not know about me is that I covered Lovecraft extensively here on the channel. So, you know, coming from someone that has, I guess, well, not so much studied it, but is very, very familiar with the works. I've done audiobooks on the channel. This will actually be linked in my Lovecraft playlist, so please do check out the entire playlist. I do think his work lends itself to a cinematic universe. I think cosmic horror is, yeah, difficult to do, but when done right, and when sticking to very key depictions and themes, which hopefully this will do because it's a cinematic universe, I think you then you will literally strike gold with this. I think this bodes very, very, very well. I will ask you though, what do you think? Do you think this is good? Do you think this is bad? Do you think Lovecraft's work should be adapted and held in high regard to this degree due to the work itself, but then also the man behind it? Because again, a lot of people will be wary of Lovecraft due to his, you know, his kind of personal thoughts. So I'll hand it on over to you. What do you think? Genuinely. And also, Elijah Wood and Daniel Noah and Richard Stanley, do you think they're good? Do you think they are the guys behind this that should be handling this? Because again, if you've seen the Colour Out of Space trailer, a lot of people seem to like it. Some people, a few key people actually, said, well, if you're familiar with Lovecraft stuff, you'd hate this. I didn't really see it myself, but I want to ask and get the general census from a wider perspective. So let me know your thoughts down below. And as well, like I said, if you've seen The Void and From Beyond, whatever film it's called, can't remember. I'll leave it linked above because I've actually done a review of that as well. If you've seen those films, The Void and the other one that I can't remember the name of, do you think those guys should be involved in some way? I'd love to hear it, so please do let me know down below in the comment section. And also check out my Lovecraft playlist. You'll love it. You genuinely will really, really enjoy it if you're a Lovecraft fan. So anyway, I talked enough crap. Let me know your thoughts down below. If you're new here, make sure you do hit subscribe. For returning subscribers, make sure you are subscribed, because YouTube is unsubscribing you. It is being a bitch. It is not fun anymore. It's really annoying me. So check that you are subscribed. And also for everyone, returning subscribers and new subscribers, make sure you hit that bell notification icon. Also, guys, I've said it a long, long time now. We've got we've been talking about getting Space Jasper shirts in. We've got Space Jeebus, link down below underneath the video. But we're getting Space Jasper shirts in very, very soon. So again, keep an eye out for that. I'll announce it in a video. They will be limited run, so please do snag them whilst you can. It will buy my little dog some Christmas treats. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. As always, have a missed age. Take care.